Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got something new and exciting to share with you. I got my hands on these brand new EIGHTREE Smart Plugs. I can't wait to show you how they transform your home automation game. Stick around because I'm going to demonstrate two excellent automations. One, by keeping my e-bike battery safely charged, and two, keep my office cool during the summer. So let's dive in and take a look at these. But first, let's get these things unboxed. EIGHTREE sent me 4 of their latest smart plugs to evaluate and review on my YouTube channel with you all, no strings attached. These are the ET06 model number here, which means they are 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi only, and they do have a max load of 1200 watts or 10 amps, which will work fine for the applications I am using them for. So we're going to do the e-bike battery chargers, which is only a 3 amp charge, and we're going to be turning on some fans, which is less than 1 amp. So no problem there. These will more than handle that load there with no problem whatsoever. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this. It's got some QR codes here for the app that you can download if you want to use the app. In our case, we're going to use Apple Home and not their app. And that's about really it. It does show that it is Matter enabled here, and so works in almost all smart home ecosystems available on the market today. So it should be plug and play for us today. So let's go ahead and get these things unboxed and take a look at what's inside the box here. Okay, well, I did see a picture of these, and so it does look pretty nice. I like the design of these being round like that. Looks like we have the Matter code on the side here. We can plug it in and turn it on and probably set it in some sort of pairing mode, and then we can scan the Matter code on the side with our phone to install it into our Apple Home ecosystem. And so again, here it has the model number and shows what the max load is. I really like the design so far. It looks pretty darn nice. It's different than the ones I'm used to of the past. That usually are the rectangular ones, but I also suspect you can't get 2 of these stacked on top of each other into a normal outlet. So that might be a drawback of trying to get these 2 side by side, but I don't think that's a deal stopper for me. I do like the design. It does feel nice and firm and sturdy, and I think it's pretty stylish if you ask me. So let's talk price of these. The price of these is ridiculously low on Amazon when they have sales for less than $20 for this whole box of 4 when you combine it with the Amazon $10 discount code. That's like less than $5 per each one of these smart plugs, which is an excellent price. There's also this little instruction manual that comes with it, a little user manual, which has introduction, specifications, getting ready, how to set it up, troubleshooting, and some safety information if you want to use that. I think it's going to be a pretty easy application for us. I think we're going to be able to plug these in, press the side button on it for 5 seconds to put it in pairing mode, and then we scan the Matter code on the side in Apple Home, and it should add it to the home. So let's go see how that goes. So the first automation that I want to do is I want to take 2 of these plugs, and I want to be able to recharge my e-bike batteries when we return from a ride. So if we determine the batteries are down to like 30% or less, I often take the batteries off the bike and I bring them over here and I put them on this little bench and I hook them up to their smart charger and connect them to this little outlet strip here and charge them up. But what I want to do is be able to turn them off automatically, because sometimes I forget to come out and unplug them off from their normal charger, and sometimes they sit there for a couple of days. And while they're smart chargers and they're UL listed, I'd rather not leave them on the charger for long periods of time. I'd rather have them turned off at the plug and be able to have some peace of mind around having those batteries turned off and the charging turned off so that it doesn't overcharge the batteries in some way. So what I want to do is take 2 of these plugs, plug them into my outlet strip here, and be able to, when I set a timer, that when I turn these on, it sets a timer for 4 hours, and at the end of 4 hours, it automatically turns them off. That way, when I come back from a bike ride, if I determine the batteries need to be charged, I can put them on here and just plug them into their little cable here, and then just hit the power button on the side of the outlet, the smart outlet here, and have it set a timer for 4 hours and turn off automatically. So that's what we're going to do and set that up and get that going. There's a couple of ways to solve that problem. I'm going to be using Apple Home and a Homebridge timer plug-in. So I'm going to use that timer plug-in, set up a dummy timer switch that will integrate into Apple Home, and when it turns on, it'll automatically set a countdown timer for 4 hours, and when it turns off, I'll set an automation to go in and turn off the switch. So you can also do that though natively inside of Apple Home with Siri shortcuts. So you can just set up a Siri shortcut, advanced automation, and set up a timer in there so that it expires after 4 hours and turns it off and does the same thing. I am using all of my timers in Homebridge, and it's just one easy place for me to go look at all my timers and change them as I want. That's what we're gonna go do. We're gonna go set up a Homebridge plug-in timer, and then we're gonna go set that up in Apple Home with two automations. One that detects when it turns on, turns the timer on, and then when the timer turns off, it's gonna turn off the switch. Let's go get that set up. All right, I did wanna take one of these out and see if I could get two side by side in an outlet strip here, and obviously not. So I've got one plugged in there, and you can see it's overlapping right there. So I'm gonna have to skip one and kind of kill that one that's not gonna ever get used. So it would be nice if maybe the form factor was a little bit smaller so that it would fit side by side, so you get two of those in there. But I still like the look of them, and I have extra room on this one, so it works out for me in this case. So I'll just have to skip one and put another one over here for the second bike. So let's go ahead and get this one set up in Apple Home. So first time you plug these in, it looks like the little blue light on the side goes into a blinking mode here. So that looks to me like it's automatically in the pairing mode already. So I'm just going to take a try on my iPhone, and I'm going to go ahead and try and add an accessory here. And I'm going to go down here and see if we can scan the QR code. Got it. Found it. It says outlet, add to home. This may take a few moments. Okay, we're gonna put it in the garage, and we're gonna call this e-bike 1. And it is an outlet. We're gonna call that an outlet, yep. And done. So in the garage, so that light stopped flashing now. If we go into the garage, we should see e-bike. We do. We see e-bike right here. It's currently on. The blue light is on. That's really fast too. So that's great. Turn it on and off there. So now we have, yeah, it's really fast back and forth. That's like milliseconds of response time, which is really good. Surprises me. I thought, considering this is not a thread protocol, it's just Matter, it still seems to be operating pretty fast. So great, let's go ahead and get the second one set up, and then we'll go ahead and start adding our automations. If I was smarter about that, I would have added the top one first to get the QR code, and then added the last one to get the bottom QR code. Okay, now we have e-bike 1 and e-bike 2. Turn on and off. Easy peasy, just like they're supposed to. That was really fast and easy. I'm really impressed with how easy that was. Sometimes some of these are not as easy to add to your Apple Home. You end up with having some problems, but with the Matter protocol, it really made it a lot easier. So let's go ahead and plug in both of the batteries now that I have plugged in. And they're plugged in over there to the batteries themselves. They're plugged into their smart charger, and now we want to get them plugged into their smart outlets. So let's get them plugged in and see what happens when we turn the plugs on and off. I'll come back later and make that all nice and neat and tidy. I'm kind of particular about the way the wires look in the garage. Okay, so they're plugged in. And currently the battery lights are all turned off on the charger and on the battery. No lights are on. So let's turn e-bike 1 and e-bike 2 on, and I can see that the battery charger's lights has both turned on. They're in the red state, meaning they're in a charge mode, and those lights are not on yet on the battery because they've not reached their full capacity. Now let's set an automation up so that these turn off after 4 hours, so it'll automatically will turn these off and stop charging those. Although these smart chargers are UL listed, like I said, and they are smart, and they will only charge these up to the capacity of which they are, and then it will stop charging them. So it won't overcharge them, supposedly. I just want that extra peace of mind to be able to have them stop down here at the plug. So let's go ahead and get that set up. So in order to set up the timers, we want to go into Homebridge, go into the plugins, and I have this delay switch plugin that I use here where I keep all of my timers. So we're going to go plugin config, and I am going to add plus add a new one. We're going to call this e-bike 1 timer. And it's going to be a timer. And I want to change this to hours, and we're going to change this to 4. And that is it. I don't want to restart Homebridge yet because I'm going to add another timer. Okay, so back in Apple Home, we just need to find those timers that it added. Sometimes it adds them to different places. There they are. So it added it to the living room. I think the living room used to be my default room. So there they are. E-bike 1 timer, e-bike 2 timer. I'm going to move them to the garage. Like that. Close that. So now we have the e-bike 1 and 2 switch and the e-bike 1 and 2 timers. Next thing we need to do is go add some automations so that when the switch turns on, it automatically turns on this timer switch. And then a second automation that when this timer switch turns off automatically when it expires, then we'll turn off e-bike 1. So that should be pretty easy to go do. Let's go into automations. Click the plus button, add an automation. We are going to say when an accessory is controlled. So in this case, we're going to go into the garage. I've got, whoops, went past G's, there we go. I've got a lot of accessories in here. When e-bike 1 turns on anytime, I want it to automatically, in the garage, turn on e-bike 1 timer on. So that'll automatically turn that timer on. We got it set in Homebridge for 4 hours, and when it expires, it'll turn it off. So then, the next one is that we'll set another automation up that when an accessory is controlled, go into the garage, and we'll say e-bike timer 1 turns off. Back into the garage, we're going to turn off e-bike 1. Done. So that's for e-bike 1. So we'll do the same thing real quick for e-bike 2. All right, we have it all set up now, so it should automatically work. Let's go take a look at what we currently have for current status. Currently the plugins are turned on. As we can see here, I can see that their lights are illuminated. Let's turn them off. So if our automation is working right, I should be able to come into the garage, plug in my batteries up here. They're already plugged in down here, and just be able to hit the switch here. It turns on there, automatically sets the timer, and hit the switch here. Turns on the smart plug and sets the timer automatically. Now, if we just wait 4 hours, it'll automatically turn those back off. So this is the automation that I'm looking for, and I think it's a smart way to keep these batteries charged up and without overcharging them, and in a safe way, so I don't forget to leave them plugged in sometimes and potentially have an overcharge situation going on. So that was pretty easy. Let's move on to the fans. For the second automation, what I wanted to do was keep my office cool, so I installed one of the smart plugs here to turn this fan on, and in addition to that, I actually have another fan that goes down this hallway that pulls the cool air from the other side of the house, and installed another smart plug right there as well. So I got those both installed in HomeKit. This is the hallway fan, and this other fan is called the office fan. So what I want to do is, and I already have an automation that when the temperature rises to 75 degrees in this office, it turns on the ceiling fan, which I have a smart switch for right there. Now I want to just add these two smart plugs to that automation so that when the temperature rises over 75 degrees, it turns these two on and kind of pushes the air down the hallway and then pushes it towards my office chairs over here, because this room gets pretty hot with the sun beaming in the afternoon. So let's go ahead and get that set up. To add these smart plugs to my existing automation, I go into Automation and scroll towards the bottom where I know my temperature automations are, and I find the guest bedroom automation that I want. Next, I select Accessories and Scenes, scroll down to Guest Bedroom and select the fan. Then I scroll down to the upstairs hallway and select the hallway fan, and then select Done. Now that I've added these new EIGHTREE Smart Plug switches to this automation, next I want to add them to the other automation that when the temperature drops below 75 degrees to automatically turn them back off. And now I can keep cool on the sunny afternoons here in my office area of the guest bedroom. Okay, some final thoughts. It would be nice if these were Matter over Thread versus Matter over Wi-Fi. I think the reaction times might be a little bit faster, but it's not too bad as we saw in my demonstrations. So that's not too much of a game stopper. Also, it would be nice if they were a smaller form factor so we could get two of them stacked side by side and not have to burn one of the plugs in the middle. These EIGHTREE Smart Plugs are a game changer. With their easy setup, fairly fast response time for over Wi-Fi, compatibility with all the major ecosystems with Matter protocol, and at an affordable price of just $5 a piece, they're a fantastic addition to any smart home. If you found this review helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more smart home tips and reviews. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and until then, have a blessed day.